Hey guys, we back at it. Oh, okay, now we're live. All right. Hey guys,
Yeah,
we're back at it
nice.
again. It's your boy Sean Christopher Jenkins. I'm back, and I'm back better and stronger than ever. I got my colleagues and partners in ministry together, and y'all gonna be seeing us a lot more. And y'all have seen us before on Uplift past Crossroads, my YouTube channel and our YouTube channel, right? But they also have their own social media platforms. So we got Reverend Melvin Hart Jr., my colleague and partner in crime in the ME Church, right? African Methodist Episcopal Church. All right, you guys have seen us doing videos together. Now we're doing it with Terry and Justin, right? So we're gonna be tearing it up, and then we got Justin Lee Howe right here. All right, so and that's Chaplain's Logs. That's his YouTube channel. I'm gonna put them, and y'all see them pop up in the video, somewhere in the video while we talk. I can't do it right now, but yeah, we got a video for you, like a real good video for you today. So we're gonna talk. I titled today's video "Overcoming Society's Lies." Overcoming society's lies, right? And so there's so many. I just preached a sermon for class in seminary school. The class I'm in is prophetic black preaching, right? And so the sermon I preached was I had to preach on the text in Romans 12:1 through 2. And obviously that text talks about renewing your mind, transform. If you renew your mind, you transform your life, right? And if you don't conform to the world, you can see what God, how what realities God wants to come about in the world, right? And so for my sermon, I preached on how the world is a puppet show. So I titled the sermon "Separate from the Puppet Show," and how in this puppet show of life, you think the puppet show is real, you think the puppet show has everything going on, and it's the end all be all. The puppet show is going to end, and what really matters will come, into being. And so that's where we're going at for today's video with the questions we're about to answer. So these questions I'm about to answer is going to help me, Melvin, Justin, and Terry like all get to know each other better, and for you guys to know us better. And then also, it's also going to be hopefully you guys can answer it too. All right, so let's go to the questions real quick. All right. All right, so you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Let me see if I can do
Cool.
something
You
real
guys
quick.
hear some background noise?
Yeah, I hear Melvin. I just Melvin. I muted you. So Justin, when when you hear Melvin talking or moving, let me know. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you guys can see my questions, right?
Yeah. I
All
see
right.
them.
So here goes the first question. All right. So this is for this me and Justin, Melvin, and Terry. We're gonna be tearing this up, man. So here goes the first video of us doing it like this. All right. So in what ways have societal norms, media narratives, and cultural messages shaped your understanding of yourself and your potential? And can you share specific examples where these influences led to limiting beliefs and how recognizing, oh my goodness,
Yep. Uh,
what does that mean? Well, let me keep on reading. Can can you share
it
can you
wouldn't be
share
one of our videos
specific
if we didn't have technical issues.
right. Come on, man. Can you share specific examples where these influences led to limiting beliefs and how recognizing these patterns has changed your perspective? Okay. So, all right. So you guys got the question, right? Y'all too.
Yeah.
So you guys want to start off
See-
answering it?
Yeah. I see
Go
Mel
ahead, Just.
talking at them.
Go ahead, Just. I'll let you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the puppet show because I was trying to figure out because I had a lot of ideas bouncing around for this question, but with you bringing up the puppet show, it kind of gives me a good place to start. I think like a big part, at least for me, is like sometimes you don't realize you're in the puppet show. Like a lot, like everything in media, everything in our culture. I'm in China right now too, so it's like it's. I just finished breakfast while these guys are about to go to bed. But something I've seen too is like oh, like you don't know you're in the puppet show sometimes. Like sometimes you think you're
Wow.
the smartest person in the room, and that's a like I feel like that's a stronghold of the devil to really get you. Like if your ego, if your pride is too big and you think you know better than everybody else, you really don't. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and even like media will be like, oh, like and I'm when I use the word liberal, I'm not going to mean it in a political way. I mean like kind of like a freestyle kind of way. But
Yeah.
even like a liberal way of thinking will will say, oh, like you're in the puppet show, so now you're smarter than anybody else. But that's also like a trick as well, because usually people of that mindset, and I'm one of those people too. Those people on that mindset are then pulled into like a completely different show where they have a checkbox of things they have to do to fit into this new group they're in. They have to like a big example I think in my life is maybe with my wife, and maybe some people her time in China. Like she had decided to take a year off from work to help take care of the baby, and like people in the States, people in China, were saying, no, you gotta be progressive. Like, you have to like stand up for yourself. Like, that's not what you need to do. Like you don't have to do what everybody else tells you to do, but they're the ones telling you what to do. They
Wow.
think they were thinking like, oh, we got to break away from the culture that we're in. We got to make a name for ourselves. So, in a way of trying to break away from one puppet show, suddenly they're like, "Oh no, you can't do this." Which, if they think you're free, why are they suddenly giving you like putting you in a box, like giving you certain guidelines? It's like
Yeah.
they're giving you a new set of rules to live by, and they think they're better than everybody else because they broke away, but really they're just in a what do they call it? Like gilded cage. Like it looks all nice and padded and
Yeah.
luxurious inside, but really they just like they themselves locked themselves and threw away the key.
Yeah.
So for me personally, like that. Sorry, I feel like I rambled on for that, but just to
But
sum
you
up,
good.
yeah, I feel like people think they're outside of the puppet show, but like God is the only one I've discovered that's actually outside the puppet show. Like all we can do is stumble into another show, one after another.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? To me, it's like if you two, because y'all married, right?
Yeah.
You said your
Okay.
wife. If you two are married and y'all find the guidance of God and y'all prayed about it and y'all came to peace with it, then who are them to say, no, y'all need to keep doing this? Especially if
Mm,
y'all didn't came to terms with what y'all gonna do. That's why I don't understand. I mean, you see what
mm,
I'm saying? Um,
yeah.
you cool with it, she cool with it. Y'all came to a decision. Literally, y'all done prayed about it and everything, but yet they gonna tell you, nah, you gotta keep no, no, this is your family.
Right.
How they
Mm,
tell you to do with your family?
Yeah, they were
You
telling
see what I'm saying?
they were telling them to be a part of the puppet show, the 9 to 5 life.
Yeah,
yeah. Like no, I think everybody should be open to advice, whatever it
Yeah.
is. But if you're like trying to force me into something else, like none of that.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that. Oh yeah, man.
Man, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on what he said. You know, growing up, I used to look at rappers like on a, like, oh man, I want to be like them, this, that, and the other. And what's it, 95% of them living a lie. They living a straight up lie. They didn't live the lifestyle that they be talking about, which as a young
Yeah.
man, I thought I was.
That's
But then when stuff started coming out, like, oh no, they didn't do that, and they grew up in the suburbs, they didn't grow up in the ghetto and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me I'm more thuggish than they are?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, that changed a lot of me because I looked up to these rappers and actors and stuff, and they lived a life that they was portraying. And when my eyes got open and it got reflected back to the light, as I'm gonna say, then a lot of stuff woke me up. Let's just put it like that. It literally woke me up, and that's when I had to see and be me, not them, or
mm,
me trying to be them. I
Hmm.
had to be me, and it took me a little while to get to it, but I finally got to it, and that's funny because at that same time, that's when I got introduced to God. That's when I got introduced to God. And when I got introduced to him, it's like things just start clicking and happening. You know, and it was a a slow climb. But you know, I'm there. I'm there. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
Mel, I want to bounce off of you real fast because that reminded me something Sean and I talked a little bit off camera. Like we put celebrities and, as you said, like rappers or singers on pedestals, and we think they're living the high life, but then we see like the tabloids and see like um I don't know, like the truth for what it is. Like we see like even what society tells us is the high life in this world is just like it's it's just like temptations. It's
Yeah,
not all it's cut out to be. It honestly, it sounds like, looking at like the news, it sounds like it's terrible to be famous or terrible to be like a celebrity
yeah,
after, because they gain everything only to like lose everything through divorces or legal actions. And it's like we definitely, that's awesome that that's your testimony, is discovering that the high life that the world tells us is all great and shiny and made of gold is not as great as it is.
Right.
nah, nah.
Mm.
Especially when you see, my wife was watching something on YouTube one day, and it was talking about all the celebrities had that was dying of AIDS, dying of somebody that murdered them, and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I tried to do that because I tried to be an actor at one time. I went to the audition, they loved me, this, that, and the other, but they didn't take me because I didn't have an agent and I didn't have what do you call those photo shoots or shots or whatever.
Oh,
So they kind
headshots.
of like dismissed me.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm glad that it didn't work out for me because what I
Yeah.
see is not what I want.
Right.
Yes, literally.
Mm.
Man, y'all said some good stuff. I want to go back to the question because now you guys can, y'all definitely will be able to see it. Something happened with my Chrome, so nothing should happen right now. You guys can see the questions, right?
Yeah, I
All
see
right.
it.
So, in what ways have societal norms, media narratives, and cultural messages shaped your understanding of yourself and your potential? So, where I was going at with this question is like, as a black man, we're told certain societal norms that the people who are controlling the puppet show, whoever they are, they're trying to tell black people how to live, trying to tell black
Yeah,
Mm.
people who they are, trying to tell black people what their history is. But I wanted to see from your perspective, Justin, is it the same way? You know, because Justin's like Tiger Woods, he's many races, like literally, like so, he ain't just
I
one
like to
race.
think of myself as The Rock. You don't know, you don't quite know what races he is.
Right. So, like for you, Justin, and even for Terry, what societal norms? So, what things are we brainwashed to believe and programmed to believe, even through media narratives or cultural messaging? Like, what programming and brainwashing have we been taught by the world, right? To say
Hmm.
to tell us and shape who we are, and like, and are we believing it? And if we are, that's a huge issue for a believer. That is not the way to live this life.
yeah,
Mm.
And I can even talk about for a black person. I'm just gonna go there. Let's go there. So, like, for me as a
Go for
black
it.
person, I can't afford to believe what the world has told me to believe about who I am and what I am. Because first of all,
yeah,
they didn't tell us who we were, right? They hid our history, right? So, like, for example, I talked about this with Dylan. I can't wait to join him in our group, Dylan Cruz. Um, uh, I was trying because he's a history teacher. I was trying to convey to him how, in the school system in America, we're only told one group of people's history, like to the fullest, and we all know who they
yeah,
are, white people,
yeah,
right? But when it comes to Black history, where does Black history start? It does not start in slavery, but that's where it starts in American history, right? It
yeah,
Mm.
starts in slavery, and it's all dark, and it's all uh, demeaning, and it's all belittling, and it's all negative. And if it is positive, they pick certain people from our history to try to emulate, try to be like. So, like Martin Luther King, ooh, this is powerful. Martin Luther King, what was he? Passive,
yeah,
nonviolent, and just took
Mm.
it. Be
yeah,
like
Mm.
this. Like,
yeah,
and that's so
Man,
dope. What you say?
he's still powerful though.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I agree with it. I'm just saying, like, they pick certain stories to tell for black people. instead of telling all of our story. And the question is why? Why? Because and
Mm.
there's power in knowing the story. So the thing I'm learning about in seminary school is like this world is made on stories. We live off of stories. And like the more stories you know, the more you can do. Right. So if you go to the library, for example, a librarian's job is to be able to help you to get to the stories that you need to get to in order to achieve what God has intended you to achieve. Like if they were really
Uh-huh.
like, serious about their calling as a librarian, it's a serious calling, right? They should be
Mm.
able to know so many books that they can give you the story that you need. For example, if you got a kid that's being bullied because she's fat, there's a story for that kid. And if she knew that story about how somebody went through the same thing that she went through at the age that she's at and overcame, she can believe the same thing too. So it's empowering. So like a lot of
Mm.
people in society aren't empowered, right? A lot of people in society aren't told that they could do certain things because the brainwashing and the programming and the people controlling the puppet show don't want them to believe those type of things.
Right.
I gotta use an
Mm.
example like handicapped people, right? When have you ever seen a programming that's liberating for somebody who I've never seen it, who's deaf and can't hear? Like that is
None.
awful. Like I can never be like Helen Keller, the person who wrote the hymnals. Like I think that was her name, Helen Keller. And there's another
Yeah,
one.
that's it.
She's
That's
That's
it.
it.
yeah, she
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
when I
blind.
heard Fanny Crosby, that's another one. Yeah. So like, she's the one that did the hymnals. Like with both of them two people, they were deaf and can't hear. Can you imagine living life like that? I
Mm.
cannot. So like, what y'all got for them? So like that's what I'm saying. So like, we limit people based on their handicaps, their race, like based on so many different things, saying they can't do something. And then we had the audacity to say, no, nobody in society did that. No, everybody can achieve everything and do everything. You're denying their story, like their
Right.
experience and what they
Mm.
went through. So like that's why I was trying to go out with the questions like has it shaped you? So for me as a black man, has it shaped me? Like I believed a lot of the lies. Like black people are the scum of the earth. Like black people are ugly. Like so I always thought I was ugly. And that didn't change until my son came and I looked at him and he looked just like me. So what do I look like telling my son he's ugly? That
Yeah.
that changed real quick when I saw him. He was not ugly. My son looked good. Like I look good,
There
And
you
then it's funny.
go.
And then it's funny when
He
you look
does
at your
look.
past pictures of yourself when you thought you were ugly and didn't have it going on. Like man, you just look at yourself, man. I look good. I don't know why I thought I was ugly. So it's just like, you gotta enjoy what you have, right? You gotta utilize what you
Mm.
have, like. And so that's so many people. Like I'm trying to convey that with our YouTube ministry and stuff, guys. Like I want people to know, like, whatever your story is, wherever you're at, like, whatever you're working with, whether you're fat, ugly, pretty, small, handicapped, whatever you got, God got you with that for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
there you
Mm.
have full potential just with what you have, and you have it for a reason. So, what's in your hand, Moses? So, yeah, we talked about that a lot, but I'll let you guys go ahead and answer. I know you guys, you know,
I do, yeah. Sorry, Mal, if I'm cutting you off. I do want to
Are
like
you good?
add a caveat to that. And I hope I'm not like devil's advocate. You do need to tell the like something I see in media nowadays is you do need to tell the story with sincerity
yeah,
because a lot of times like Hollywood or like a lot of people who are in big movements sometimes like trying to be inclusive is just a checklist for them. It's like, oh, you got to have this, you got to have this, you got to have a person with this disability. And on paper, that sounds good, but when you don't do it with sincerity, it just comes off as, um, I don't know. It doesn't reach the. It's not as empowering as it could be. I'll use an example of like what I've seen. Like Mel, Sean knows this because I tell him all the time. I was an extra in the Black Panther movie, and the director for that, the director, and it's like, what was the statistic? Like 95% of black actors were in that movie, and I was like, I'm like one of the 5% in the background. But like the director, also Coolidge, also a black guy, was like such a good director. Like watching him behind the scenes, because like he knew the story that he wanted to portray. He knew like I saw him communicate with like Chadwick Boseman and like talk to his actors, and like he knew what he wanted to portray, and like he knew like if you see the final cut, it is like very empowering for a superhero movie, and just for like black actors. At the same time, I've seen like people who have not had that experience, who were like trying to support other rights. who are just jamming in all kinds of characters without like knowing what makes the story so strong. Like
Yeah,
if you guys have seen I'm trying to think of other examples. If you guys have seen like any documentaries with like MLK, there's a really good one I think on Amazon with MLK and Malcolm X. Um, if you see those, like you see like why why MLK was like so empowering yet be passive and gentle and kind and like all the characteristics of a what empowers a Christian, and that like makes it through the media really well. But I think a big problem with media now is like, yeah, they at the beginning they were like hiding stories, like Sean was saying. They were like very limited. They weren't trying to empower people. They were like trying to tell a specific narrative that supported their conformity. But
yeah.
now we live on a pendulum, and I see the opposite happen of like now people are trying too I don't want to say try too hard because I want to see empowering stuff like Black Panther or more MLK or documentaries or I'm trying to think of some Asian documentaries. I can't think of any right now, which is bad. Um, but like yeah, it's I want society to be more than just like a checkbox. I want it to like actually feel it. And sorry, Sean, again, I'm like I ramble a lot. Mel, you'll learn that too. More
That's
videos.
the whole point of this.
But
Go
yeah,
ahead.
Nah,
I
you
just want to.
good, man.
It's like I want to see more of that, but I want to see like sincerity to it. I don't want a black person or a Asian person or a blind deaf person like be just a box that they check off.
You, you know, um, me personally, and I know it's gonna sound funny. I know I think I'm going too right, but it kind of start with the parents to a certain degree.
Mm,
And what I'm saying meaning is that we have to lead by example.
mm,
When I was growing up, a lot of times it was always told to me the only way you gonna make it out of the ghetto or the hood or whatever is to be an athlete. You know, that's all I ever heard. So that's what I strove for. But then when I think about it, my dad, he had real good, strong work ethics. And he'll go work for 16 hours, go home, sleep for 4, go back again for another 16. And that's how he did things. And all along he was doing drugs as he was doing it. But he
mm,
wanted to make sure that we was good. But the point I'm trying to make is, and this what Sean was saying, I'm picking off for both of y'all. But the thing is, we have to show our kids that it's more to life than just being athletes. You could be, I never once heard somebody say, hey, you could be a judge one day. Hey, you
mm,
could be a lawyer. You could be a political. You could be a politician. Never heard that. But they always say you can go play some football, you can go play some basketball, you can go to college and do this, but never really stressed education to me. But my mom did. My mom, she stressed it, but never said I can go do this and the other. She always been kind of vague. It was like, well, you can do whatever you put your mind to.
mm,
And I think, like as parents, we should be encouraging them and letting their kids know so they won't come up with the same mindset that, well, the only way I can leave this place is through to be an athlete. And life is way more than just that. They can be a poet, a singer, or whatever, you know. But
mm,
that's one of the ways I found myself when I went to college. I found out I like poetry. I found out I like jazz. I found out that I can do short stories and do it real well. I found this out, but I had to find out my own. It wasn't through somebody telling me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was going at, like with the next question, like, um, can you share specific examples where these influences led to limiting beliefs and how recognizing these patterns has changed your perspective? And you guys have hit on it and hinted at it a lot. But like you said it, Melvin, just now, like you got to find it out, like for yourself.
Yeah,
Like they're not going to tell you. The world's not going to tell you. The puppet show is not going to tell you. It's a show. It's a
yeah,
Mm,
game, right? They
yeah,
don't want you to know. Like, and people act like this life is. The media does that a lot. You know, they say like, yeah, life's great, like with Christmas season, with commercials, like, you know,
Right.
Thanksgiving, everything to be thankful for. America's great, like, you know, like, no, it's not.
Right.
Like, it is not exactly what God wants it to
Nah.
be. It is not glorifying the God 100%. Like, and if it ain't that, that's the standard. So we ain't gonna lower the bar and say something's great, you know, when you giving us crap to eat, you know, like so, like so yeah, we gotta recognize these patterns. So that, like the verse, I want to talk about that verse, man, break it down, like what we're trying to say. Like the verse, if I had to give a scripture verse for today's video, it's Romans 12, 1-2, just like the sermon I preached. So, you know, from the New International Version Bible, therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercies, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what is God's will, is his good, pleasing, and perfect will. And that's the whole point. You can't figure out what God's good, pleasing, and perfect will is. See, this is why some people are so lost, because you don't renew your
Yeah.
mind. You're being programmed by the world to, and you're thinking conforming to the world is how you're gonna find God, how you're gonna experience God, how you're gonna have a transformed life. Is your life transformed? Is your mind being renewed? And it says continually renewing. It's the thing that you got to do constantly on a daily basis. Why? Because you have been programmed to believe certain things. You have embedded beliefs inside your head. And the question is, are those embedded beliefs liberating, life-giving? Is it bringing healing to you, or is it bringing harm? Is it detrimental? Is it dangerous to believe? So this is why the Bible is saying you have to renew your mind. There's so many
Yeah.
verses that says meditate on the word day and night. There's a reason why it says day and night. It says to you know, set your things on heavenly things and not earthly things. So that's Colossians 3, you know, meditate on the word day and night. I think that's Psalms 1. But anyways, let's go back. How do you renew your mind? You have to sacrifice yourself. So who are you more sacrificed to, the world or the God? Because whichever one you're more sacrificed towards, whichever one you're willing to die for more, is what's going to be controlling your mind and dictating
Yeah.
your thoughts. And the funny
John?
thing is, what controls your life? Your thoughts. Your reality is dictated based on what's going on in your mind. So if you want a different reality and you want to see things differently, you need to go to God for that. Because if you go to the
Yeah.
world for it, you know, there's certain things that the world tells a black man to believe. There's certain things that the world tells an Asian man to believe. You know, like any race you want to, and that's just what race. We ain't even talked about politics yet. There's certain things that Democrats are told to believe. Is all of
Yeah.
it true? No. There's certain things that Republicans are told to believe. Is all of it true? No. It's a puppet show. It's all meant to divide. That's what Satan wants to do: steal, kill, and destroy. Like, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point of this video is life is dictated by the mind. Until we get our minds right, we will never, ever have our lives right. Like, it is impossible, right? So you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. What are these reality TV shows teaching you? What is your favorite show? What do you watch all the time? What do you read? What do you spend the most time doing? Are you renewing your mind with truth? Like, that, and that's a real deep question. Because imagine your life, what would it look like if all you did was read the Bible? And some people would be like, man, that's boring. Okay, let's add layers to it. So you read the Bible, you spend time with other believers who are equally yoked with you, like Melvin and Justin for me. Like, this is why we do this, right? Because we're trying to do this all the time, right? Like, this should be a constant. Just imagine your life if all you did was just serving God. That's not what I'm trying to convey, but all you did was things for God. Like, literally, you're a living sacrifice. Like, that's what it said in that text. What does it mean to be a living sacrifice? That means you're dead to yourself. You're dead to your desire. So instead of watching porn and masturbating, you pray with your brother. I should be praying with Justin, right? You pray with Melvin, right? You talk about your struggle, right? And they give you hope, encouragement, whatever, to edify you, right? And then not only that, we spend time with each other. We spend time with each other so much so that's our reality, right? Like, you know, it ain't just us hanging out. Obviously, we're gonna hold each other up, like Moses and Aaron and her. I think when Moses was trying to hold up his staff and he got his arms tired, and his friends came along and helped him to hold it up, and they won the victory. But he kept on learning without his friends, and they were losing the war. So, like, yeah, man. So, what does that look like if all you did was was just turn your whole life into a life for God, how much different would you think? Would you think those same thoughts? See, like I keep on going. You guys see where I'm going at. I'll let you guys go, man.
You know, with me, when you say that, it reminds me of this Adidas commercial, and everybody was in one line, and when like an army, and when one person moved, everybody moved in that one line, but then the one person got out and decided to go buy some Nikes, and he was unique and different, and that's how we gotta be. We gotta be unique. We
Yeah.
can't be like everybody else marching to the same beat because we're different. We are new creatures from God. We are new creatures under Him. You see what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
when I look at myself, I look at myself being different. I'm not like this world. I'm not trying to be comfortable in this world because I know this flesh gonna die one day. But until then, I'm gonna work hard. Until then, I'm gonna be unique. I'm gonna be the unique person that God made me to be.
Mm.
Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah,
be
I
that
really.
unique person too if you put the wrong things in your mind, like because you're eventually
Yeah,
gonna go astray. And how many people is that how many people are experiencing that fate? Like
yeah.
go ahead, Justin. My bad.
Oh, you're good, man, Sean. I can't tell you what a godsend is that you picked out Romans 12:1 through 2 while I'm in China. Because when I was reading that, I was like, man, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. Now, and I can't say too much because they do listen in on the phones. Like
Wow.
that is something I see from my wife's family. For her, is like you kind of only get praise if you're doing. It feels like you only get praise if you do what they feel is the right thing to do. Like if you're saying, oh, I got such and such job, or I'm doing this, it's like, oh, good, good. It's like almost a relief that you're following their narrative. And of course, like that's not just limited to Asian culture either. Like I see that in the States as well. Like you're maybe not as much in the States. You are kind of praised to be more unique or more individualistic. But it is something I see a lot, that I like that Mel brought in family in this by saying like it really does start with the family. Like the limitations we have are not just like the social media or the culture that we're in, but it's what we live day in, day out as well. And like when you only receive like praise or love for doing a certain thing or for bringing honor to a certain aspect of your life, your brain's going to be hardwired to it. Like it's called neuroplasticity. The more you repeat an action, or the more, oh, Zion, you good, buddy?
It's called what?
It's called neuroplasticity. It's like the more you repeat an action or the more you receive a reward or affirmation for a certain action, the more the neurons are going to be wired towards that. So your body, like there's a biological aspect to what Sean was saying. Like it all starts in the mind. Your reality starts with your mind, and there's like your neurons show it too. Like what you think is good, what you think is bad, is hardwired into us, starting from like what we see, what we live in, like all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's not a coincidence that Sean sent me that verse while I'm experiencing like a different culture right now. Just seeing that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Mhm. And to bring the point home, see, Justin, I don't even. That's why I didn't want you to go live today because you're in China, man. I just don't know how they are cyber wise.
Yeah, I've heard stories, but yeah, we
Yeah,
won't talk about it too much.
right. But like going back to what we were saying, like that verse is so powerful. I think we should do a study on it, by the way. So that should be our next video. Like all of us tearing those two verses up.
Yeah.
Mm.
But like living sacrifices, man, like all we live, what does humans want, man? We want approval, we want praise, like we want recognition and all those things, but like, and that's the problem. Like in this world, like we're supposed to deny ourselves, man. We're supposed to,
Yeah.
not live in the flesh. Like, and so what does that mean? That means like you're gonna look stupid sometimes. You're gonna look like abnormal and different than everybody else. Like, and that's okay. Like, and you're gonna do things contrary to how the world does things. Like, for example, Halloween just happened. I'm not saying you don't have to celebrate Halloween and stuff like that, but there's just certain things we just can't do. Otherwise, it offends our other siblings in the faith. And going with the
Yeah.
Romans text like that Romans. I can't wait till Terry tears that up because I know he knows it better than I do. But I'm gonna know it like after we do
Yeah,
a study on it. So I want to do verse by verse study on the book of Romans. You know Romans like that, Justin? The book of Romans, like
no,
the
like
setting. Okay, so like from what I studied, I mean, obviously we all know this, but like, yeah, we're so dangerous, and we're all pastors, by the way. Justin's about to be a pastor too. He don't know yet, but but like with the book of Romans, like that setting, like there's a church that Paul started in Rome, right? And like it was with pagans. Like, so at first it was just the Gentiles there. I mean, just the Jews there. And then some king became king, and he was like, no, the Jews need to go. Because he was sick and tired of like how religious they were and all that stuff. Like, it was just annoying. And so then when they came back, the Jews were invited back after that king died. And so they came back to the Roman church that Paul started. And now it looked different. It was filled with Gentiles. So now they were butting heads. Like, like, what does it mean to be Christian? What should the church look like? And so, and they were doing that because the Gentiles operate differently than the Jews, like culturally, with their norms, with their traditions, with everything. So, like, for example, the Gentile world in Rome, when the book of Romans, like, is filled with a lot of pagan worship, a lot of sacrifices going on, like sacrifices to idols everywhere. Like, that's all they do. And so, like, there was never a living sacrifice. It was always a dead one. It was always animals. It was never a human. And if it was like a dead baby or something. But it was never like an actual living human being sacrificed. So like, so the whole point what Paul was trying to convey was that's countercultural. Cultural. It's different than what everybody else does. And that's what God demands from us. So that's the first way it's different. He wants us to be living sacrifices. We don't dedicate our lives to God when we're dead. We do it now so that we can do it later too, right? So like it doesn't matter what you want. So many Christians are told that a different lie, like you can live however you want, you can do whatever you want. No, you can't, because you got to think about how does that affect your brother or sister in the faith. You can't just think anything you want to believe, because how does that affect you eternally? Like internal, every belief ain't good to believe. Every thought in your head ain't good to have in your head. That's why Paul says to how does he say it? He says just to take every thought captive. That's what he says. Take every thought captive. Like, so there's certain things in this world, like you could believe anything, you can do anything. No, you can't. Like, what does God call you to be? What does God call you to do? You know, what did God made you to be? You can't just operate contrary to that. That's not loving God. He even said, if you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, follow me. Like John 14:15. Like, there's so many verses like that. You can't just serve God how you want to serve him. You have to sacrifice. That verse means that word means a lot. Look up the word sacrifice. What does that mean? You have to give yourself over unto God. You have to deny. It's more than denying yourself. It's literally you have to sacrifice your life. Like that word, and that means I'm trying to find a word for it. You guys can help me. You won't, but like you have to you lay your life down. You give it up. That's when you gain everything, right? So you give it all to God. And that's some of it. Like that verse is so countercultural, man. Because like the people who are worshiping pagans in the by the Roman church, they could live how they wanted to live. It didn't matter. As long as they gave a sacrifice to their God, they can get what they want to get from their God. But with our God, he wants a living sacrifice, not a dead sacrifice. He wants you. He don't want a sacrifice. He wants a sacrifice and he wants you. That's a lot to ask for. You see what I'm saying? Like that verse is so dope because, like, bro, like what the world's telling you, you have to take every thought captive, everything that you're told. And then the question is, like, how many stuff do you believe right now that you need to just, God doesn't want you to believe it. He wants you to believe something else. So what do you need to replace right now that's in your head, right? That shouldn't be there. It's a lot for me. And I've been doing it. And then I've been transforming into something else, right? And then I can, and if I transform into something else, then I can embrace more of what God wants me to be and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'll let you guys go. Y'all have anything else, or y'all want to go to the next question, or like, how do y'all feel?
I do want to add one more thing. I know maybe I'm a little harsh on Christians, but I feel like we need to live by a higher standard. So I'm gonna be harsh anyway. Um, I do feel like it's harder now than ever to like shift through our thoughts because now we're being bombarded with like news and media at our fingertips, and there's just so much white noise now. And same with the Christian community as well. There's just a lot of people telling you, "Oh, you have to believe this in a certain way." Uh, I wish I knew how to word it. You kind of have to like fit a mold a certain way in order to believe the way that God wants you to believe. And I think that's like counter to what like Mel was saying earlier about like being unique, being the unique you for God. Because like we're all made in the image of God, but he's like a diamond. He's so multifaceted. We have to take on like different aspects of him. So we shine and portray him in very different ways. We can't really fit a mold or fit in what uh, a certain group of Christians may say we have to believe, and that just makes
Yeah,
it a lot harder. But
yeah.
I think that, yeah, I think that is really important that and that's why God gives us free will, so we can
Amen.
so that way, we're not robots, we're not computers. That way, we can sift through our own thoughts, sift through like what the truth is, because it's more powerful when we actually find it for ourselves. It's more powerful when we go through that journey and find what God wants us to find. Because our culture nowadays is so far removed from what they were doing 2,000 years ago. Like it's incomprehensible, like how Jews and young Christians acted 2,000 years ago because they had like so many different cultural norms. Like we don't know how it is to act like a Christian, like the first Christian. So who are we to say like, oh, you have to do this to be a Christian? No, it's a yeah. I love what Sean was saying because it's so powerful. You really have to like take every thought captive and just like sift through what true belief is for this.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Both y'all said something that made me think about social media. Man, is literally the okay. I saw on there one day somebody was trying to debaptize themselves. How in the world you debaptize yourself? It was
Yeah.
stupid, man. I kid you not. That was so serious. But then they, if they not debaptizing themselves, they try to convince you not to be a Christian.
Yeah.
Saying how you know you'll go to heaven, this, that, and the other. But the thing is, Jesus told us He is the way, the truth, and the life. So you believe in Him, you believe you'll go to heaven, and so you follow those characteristics that Christian has. So but do you really know? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because it's funny how people just popping up. Man, please don't get mad at me for saying this, but people's popping up left and right saying, "Oh, I'm not a female. I'm a dude trapped in the female body and all this kind of." But they
Mm.
listen to social media, and it's sad and sickening all in one. So my thing is, you get away from those, and you start praying, and you start reading your word, and stay away from social media. Period. And literally go off your faith, and that's where they'll direct you in the way you need to go.
Yeah.
Mm.
You have
But
anything else?
social media,
Oh, go ahead.
nah. Go ahead, Justin.
That's, no, that was good. I like what Mel said.
Oh, I'm gonna go to that second question if you guys are ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, we're just not getting to wow. We're just getting to the second question.
Right, man. Yeah. Actually,
That
the
first
third.
question was powerful. There's a lot to unpack with that first question. I liked it.
I'm glad you liked it. Let's see what we can do with this one. So I'm gonna let you guys talk. All right. So reflecting on your journey, what strategies or practices have you found effective in dismantling self-destructive beliefs instilled by external narratives? And what advice would you offer to others who are struggling to challenge these ideologies? And how can they begin to cultivate a more empowering mindset? So, yeah, we kind of answered that, but if you guys want to tackle it,
Yeah, I was about to say we kind of it's hard to answer the first question without saying the because the first question is so personal. It's hard not to answer the second one a little bit. But I do think the biggest part for me is like community to really challenge my own thoughts. And it's not just it's not just joining the Adidas line or a community of everyone who thinks the same as me. I think it's good to like have community of people who are not necessarily I mean, it could be opposite, but people who like also think differently, who give you a good rapport, or like you can bounce ideas off of, or it's just having people other than yourself to be able to hit up topics like this, to
Yeah,
think, to figure out, does this actually work in real life, or does this actually work in society, or is this just like something social media, or because man, social media makes me mad sometimes because I think, man, I can't believe the world is doing this, or I can't believe the
yeah,
world's going down the toilet like this. And then I step back and think, what am I thinking? Like, that's like the world. Well, I was about to say the world's not burning, but it's burning a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, you definitely need like other people, man. It's,
yeah,
my wife is great too, but like we also kind of have the same beliefs, so it's good that I talk to other people who have different experiences as well. That's just
amen.
challenging.
Good stuff, man. I like that.
Mm,
That right there is so important. What you just said, Justin, that is so important
mm,
because when you and your wife have the same mind frame, doing the same things and enjoying the same, it makes life a whole lot easier.
mm,
It actually makes life so easier, especially the
mm,
marriage. But when
mm,
y'all, well, this one does this over here and this one does this over here, and it's hard for y'all to come together, then it creates chaos. It
mm,
creates chaos on every level that you can think of, But as a man household, you gotta try to create some kind of peaceful atmosphere, So yeah, that's some good stuff right there, man. Congrats on that.
mm,
For me, I seen a lot. I'm 51 years old, about to be 52 in December, and I seen a lot. Uh, I remember growing up, and I used to see my dad get sloppy drunk and high, and this, he go hitting on my mom, beating on my mom, and I always told myself I would never do that to my wife. I would never do that to the woman I love. Um, I seen my friend when I was 12 years old. He shot himself and he shot his brains out. And I was like, man, I don't want to do with no guns, period. I don't want to do
mm,
with no guns. And stuff like that mold me to the person I am now because if you think about it, the pain and the struggles that you go through, if you remember those pain and struggles and how it was, it kind of strengthens you in other areas that you can help somebody else out. You know, uh, I never had my own place, so I went from my mom and my dad's place to living with my wife. Well, we was dating, but I moved straight into them. I did date outside my race, and I never traveled really like that. So
mm,
the 3 things, 4 things I tell kids, especially at the high school where I work at, is try dating outside your race. God said love people. He didn't say love them, but he said love people. There's nothing wrong with dating a
mm,
Hispanic or an Asian or whatever.
mm,
There's nothing wrong with it. Second thing I tell them is, hey, find yourself. Sometimes you got to be apart from everybody else, live by yourself to see who you are, to see what you like. Because a lot of times when you go live with somebody, you got to take on some of their stuff, but you really never find out who you are. And then the
mm,
third thing I told him is the travel. Go out and travel, see what the world got to offer. It might not be in Nashville, it might be in Idaho. I don't know, it might be in San Francisco. I don't know, but you have to go out and find them. And then the fourth thing I tell him is put God in there. Put God first and watch what he'll do in your life. But if you don't do the fourth one before you do all of them, you just out there just to be out there.
mm,
And a lot of them come back and tell me, Coach, you weren't lying about this. That, yeah, I know, because I've been there. I've been there.
mm.
Before I got married, I wanted to date a midget, but I didn't. I'm just saying. But that's how. it molded me though to the person I am now, that I can help other people.
Mm, that's awesome.
I didn't mean to go that deep. My bad.
No, you
No,
good.
man, that's what we're looking for. Don't apologize for that.
Yeah. Are
Appreciate
y'all
it,
good?
man.
I
Did
like
y'all get
that.
everything out with this one? Yeah, y'all want some more?
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't you?
Man.
okay.
So I'm gonna read the question out loud. Reflect on your journey. What strategies or practices have you found effective in dismantling self-destructive beliefs? So as a black person, see, that's another thing too. Nobody can, if you're not black, you can't speak for how can a black person dismantle self-destructive beliefs, because you don't even know what is dismantling to a black person. All right. Same thing for like any other race. Like you can't speak for people outside other races of you, talking about what beliefs are self-destructive to them, because you don't know what's going on internally inside them, right?
Yeah.
We can't all
I'm gonna speak
attest to, like,
for
oh,
Terry.
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna speak for Terry since he's not here. But something he's mentioned a couple of times is something no one can take away from you is your story. And
Yeah,
it's like no one can take away your experiences, and at the same time, no one knows your experiences like you do.
Hey,
right.
man.
Yeah,
Good stuff. That's it, Justin. You right. Can't nobody tell your story but you can.
That's
right.
why they're so powerful. Yeah.
And so, like, and that's powerful, because like it's different strategies to get to the healing, get to the truth, and different
Mm,
practices we can do to get to, like, get to be the holistic person, right? Completely and fully that God wants us to be, right? But it takes
mm,
dismantling from the lies, and it takes from removing ourselves from the external narratives. And Melvin, you even said it, like, in order to figure out who you are, you gotta get away from other people sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can figure out who you are around other people too, but then like you're at risk of like comparing,
Yeah.
trying to emulate and copy. Like, you can't really know who you truly are until you spend time with yourself. And that's the
Hey,
question.
man.
And I'll go even deeper, until you spend time with God, right?
Yeah.
Yourself
That's
mm.
and
it.
God
Yeah,
together,
that's
that's
right.
the dynamic duo, right? And that's what we're trying to convey for this video. So what advice would you offer to others who are struggling to challenge these ideologies? Like, spend time with God, man. And I hope I painted a good picture. Like, and I'm not saying something I haven't done. This is what I do. Like, when it comes to dismantling self-destructive beliefs, do you have any? I would argue everybody got some. Do you think you're fat?
Oh,
Do you think you're
that's not.
ugly? Like, like, how many self-destructive beliefs do you actually believe? And you have made that your whole life and your whole story. It's time to
Mm,
dismantle that and get
Yeah.
rid of it. So, like,
mm,
and so this is a struggle. That's another thing too, and it's
mhm,
a challenge, right? It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Because I'm gonna be honest, sometimes we always going to struggle with certain beliefs. You know what I mean? Because we all
Yeah.
maybe always be in the same situation, right? Or have the same, struggle, like somebody with polio. I'm sure you can get free from polio, like Wilma Rudolph. But how many people is that? I don't know, right? So some people, like, that's your fate, in a wheelchair, right? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and people will down people who are in those fates. And I hope you're not. I hope anybody that's in that situation don't feel like I'm downing you. I'm just saying that those are so, to think that your situation is the worst it could possibly be, and it's awful, like, and all that stuff, man. It's time to free yourself from those lies, right? But
mm.
there are certain beliefs that we can change that, just shouldn't be there. Like I told you guys, I thought I was ugly. I'm trying to think of some other ones, like, it's all stuff that, I shouldn't talk about my dad like that, but it's all stuff that I mainly, like, my childhood dad told me, right? When I was a kid and I believed, right?
Oh
And
wow.
and so now it's about, like, now I'm a grown man. So I have to, like, from a psychologist standpoint, right? And from a therapy standpoint, you can do this by yourself. You don't need a psychiatrist to do this. You can do this with God and with yourself in your meditation time, right? So I have to literally treat go back to my childhood self, because I got the same thoughts going through my head as a kid sometimes, right? And that's a lot of people. So what are some of those thoughts? Like, my dad would always say, like, Sean, you ain't gonna be as great as me. Like, he'll say it, but he ain't mean it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says some harsh stuff like that, and like, it always stuck with me. Like, for example, you can't make money from stocks if and you're not going to be successful making money from stocks, right? And then he said like you have to have a financial degree in order to make money from stocks, like and be successful. Then he said like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just certain things like that. And so I always like my adult self, I would tell my childhood dad, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Like that ain't the end all be all. Like, so I have to tell my childhood self inside of me, because even though you're an adult, you still got that little kid in you.
Yeah.
You have stuff
Yeah.
that you were told, that traumas that you experienced, abuse that you experienced as a kid. And if you don't tell your childhood self, like, it's okay, right? You don't have to believe that. Like, it's not true. Like, that person hurt you. And sometimes people hurt people, right?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can't allow that hurt to dictate your future. You can't be a Justin said it at the very beginning of the video. It was crazy, Justin. You said you can't be in a prison, right? And give yourself a life sentence to the traumas you experienced, basically, right? To the abuse you experienced. It's time to free yourself today. So, like, what advice would I offer to somebody struggling with these ideologies? Like, that's literally, you're struggling with trauma, you're struggling with abuse. Like, so now it's time to cook. You have to, the power is in your mind. Your life is dictated by what's going on through your head. It dictates everything. And until you transform your mind, your life will never be transformed. So I hope you guys really get that. So you have to continually, it's not a one-time thing. Sometimes you got to do it nonstop, 24/7, right? But the more you renew your mind, the more you spend time with God, the more you spend time in his word, the more sermons you listen to, the more believers you hang out with. Justin said something real powerful. He said, man, when you hang out with other believers, sometimes they point out things that you believe that you shouldn't believe, right? And they change, right? And then and vice versa. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
We make each other better.
Yeah.
And so, like with me, Terry, Justin, and Melvin, man, I can't wait. We're about to make each other better like crazy, because we all do it, and they all done it with me. But now it's time, and Justin and Terry's done it together too. But now it's time for all of us to do it and get sharpened. And we're gonna let you guys participate in our sharpening. So, and that's how we can be empowered. That's how we can. You can't be empowered. What does it mean to be empowered? What does it mean to walk in your agency? You can't take your mantle. You can't take your seat. You can't obtain and walk into the life and the blessing and the path that God wants you to walk in until you have the right mindset.
Yeah.
You believe it's for you, or otherwise it's never going to be for you, right? So like, right. And like that's the journey we're all on. It's a journey. It ain't just something you just get to. You have to work for it. You got to struggle for it. You got to wrestle for it. It's a battle of the mind, and it's going on every single day. And the more stuff you watch that you shouldn't be watching, the more music you listen to that you shouldn't be listening to, I keep on going. The more people you hang around that you shouldn't be hanging around, the more your mind is going to be jacked up.
Yeah.
It's time to get your mind right, baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got,
come on, man.
Yeah. You guys got anything? Closing thoughts, man?
I love that you're talking about the mind too, because one last tidbit for anyone who's like watching this is like, it's a hard journey. Like, don't feel bad if it feels hard, because it's supposed to be hard. Like, new research has come out to show that trauma literally shapes it changes the shape of your brain. I think they found like people with childhood trauma, their ventrolateral prefrontal cortex gets shaped. Like, you're fighting your brain when you're trying to fight back against the trauma. Like, if you are having a hard time, don't feel bad about it. The fact that you're trying is celebration in itself. Man, that's so powerful.
Amen.
If you're trying if you're trying to fight against something that's happened in your past, or you're trying to fight the demons that are whispering in your ear, man, that's like, God wants you to come to him for that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, man,
Say that, man.
it's supposed to be hard. And like, whoever's watching this, good job for trying. Like, seriously.
Yeah. I hope
Hey,
y'all
hey.
too. Yeah.
Man, y'all, woo, y'all deep, boy. I ain't lying. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. Nothing closing out for me.
Yeah, so guys, that's the video, man. You got me,
Man,
you got
that was a good
Melvin.
idea. I like
Yeah, you
that.
got Justin. Y'all liked it. I was gonna ask if y'all like the questions, but I was like, man, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let you guys.
Man, brother, it was good. This is the first video with Melanie. Man, it was a good hitting this topic up with you though.
Yeah, good talking
I
with
feel
you,
like we hit
man.
some. Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, I was saying, I feel like we hit some powerful topics in this video. It was awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I highly agree. I mean, because you know, when you was talking, the first thing I thought about was, if you don't keep your mind on God, that's the devil's playground.
Mm.
That's the devil's playground.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be thinking, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do? That's why when in the mornings when you wake up, first thing you should do is pray.
Yeah.
Because you never know what the devil's gonna do. And he don't know how he's gonna attack you, but he's gonna come at you. He's gonna come knock on your door one day, and you don't have to answer. You have no choice but to answer. But if you let God answer it, and how do you let God answer it? You lean on your faith with God. You trust Him. You call on Jesus' name. And when you do that, let God answer. And you brush that off, whatever is going on, brush it off. But that's the only way it can happen. But it starts off with faith, though. And like you were saying, it starts off with faith.
Dude. Man,
That's it. I'm done.
we're killing it, bro. Y'all know that story of Jesus saying that, I don't know who he was talking to. He said, whichever man you let into the house, like, and the stronger man's gonna take over. Y'all remember that story? And like,
No.
he said he said basically, like, you got a house, right? And if the strongest man's gonna take over the house if another man comes in, right?
Like the strong man binds the weaker man or something like that.
Yeah. And so the whole point is make sure your stronger man is the spirit and the weaker man. Because if the stronger man is the flesh, that house is doomed. Like, you're doomed. So so whichever one you feed more is gonna be the stronger man, right? And so that's us. Like, which one are you feeding more? Are you feeding your flesh more? Are you feeding your spirit more? Are you feeding healing, wholeness, completeness, life, love, forgiveness? Are you feeding that more? So that's all godly things. Or are you feeding all the devil things, sinful things, wicked things, like hostility, unforgiveness, resentfulness, bitterness, hatred? I keep on going.
Yeah.
Like, which one are you feeding more? That's what's going to rule your life. So, like, and in order for it to be godly things, man, you have to choose it. You have to take your thought captive. You got to renew your mind. You got to go to God, because some things are just too hard to overcome and impossible to overcome without God. Right. So we're going to talk about that a lot more with this series, because, like, with renewing your mind and stuff like that. But I feel like we tore that up. I just want to do questions like this, guys, because seminary school, they ask loaded questions like this, and the whole class just tear it up.
And you do this all the time, guys. This is like mentally exhausting. It's awesome, but man, it really works my brain, man. Can't believe you guys do this all the time.
That's funny.
You're really not selling the pastorship for me, man.
Man,
it'll be different. Everybody ain't gonna be like this.
Okay.
Guys, you know the drill. So you got me, you got Justin, you got Melvin. So make sure to support our pages. All right, so here goes Justin's YouTube channel, Chaplain's Log. So you'll see this video. It's gonna be streaming live right here, streaming live right now when you watch the video. So make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. And after you subscribe, click the bell so you're notified anytime he uploads another video, right? And then also his YouTube page, his Facebook page is Justin Lee Howell. And then you can go to my YouTube channel, Uplift past Crossroads, right? You can subscribe, turn on the post notification, and you do this so you can watch all our videos anytime we go live, anytime we do sermons, anytime we go around the world, evangelizing, because this is the crew, me, Justin, Melvin, and Terry. We're gonna be doing all that. That's not just talking. We're actually gonna do it. You scroll down my YouTube channel, you'll see a section called Our Podcast. That's where you can find all the videos I've ever done with Justin, all the videos I've ever done with Melvin. Justin, what number are we at, man? We are at
like
121.
Oh, 121? Okay.
121 videos. Melvin got a long way to go to catch up to us.
Yeah.
We're at 12.
Mel, we'll get there. Don't worry,
we're at 12 videos with Melvin now, like that. So we're moving on up, Mel. All right. And then most importantly, go to Melvin's TikTok page, M Hart Jr., and he's gonna be posting videos right here. But I'm gonna take all these videos and I'm gonna put it on his playlist on my YouTube channel, Melvin Hart Jr., so you can watch all his videos. All right, so I gotta stop the live because my son's about to be yelling and crying and stuff. But all right, guys, I pray you guys had a good one and you learned a lot. Stay tuned for more, man. Just support us on our social media pages. You can see everything, and also Melvin's Facebook page, Melvin Hart Jr. Mine's Sean Christopher.